Folks, should you consider using an algorithm, online tools, maybe artificial intelligence to help you price your home in 2025? If you've considered buying or selling a property, is this something that's useful to you? Folks, I want to go over 3 scenarios with you where this is useful and where it can be a challenge, and maybe how you could best use it in order to maybe assist you as you're kind of exploring options. Folks, I've had 3 different properties that I evaluated, and I used kind of these online tools that do market evaluations, average price estimates, essentially this artificial intelligence or AI tools to evaluate properties, okay? One of the properties that I evaluated is a property that I had sold $50,000 over that price, okay, that it was recommended on their price evaluation. On another property, I sold it $25,000 over the market price. And on another one, folks, it was sold $100,000 less than their recommended price. And so I want you to think about the following things between these 3 scenarios. I used all of these strategically because it was in today's market, right? 2 is that they were very detailed in the analysis, and I can give you information on much. But one of the first things that I want you to talk about, what it does very well is that these evaluations take into account an average of the area. They give statistics, dynamics, and understanding of the general market in general, which is very good for you if you're looking from the outside in, more information and knowledge that sometimes that the local agent is not looking into because they don't do high volume. This market, this information here, they're evaluating everything and putting it into one. Why do I do my market updates? Why do I go through that stuff? So that I know the market better than my peers, right? So that I am doing the results and doing it. And after I kind of do my own stuff for me, which I would in the past, now the difference is after I did it for me, I'm like, I should probably let everybody else know. So that does a comprehensive market analysis to help you understand the market in general. What it doesn't do, okay, is it doesn't take into account what a buyer would have. For example, the property that we sold $50,000 over the market. The average of the market, yeah, it was closer to like in the $1 million area. But guess what? This property had an amazing, ridiculously done vaulted kitchen, immaculate kitchen. It was over $50,000. And it didn't take into account some of the details of upgrades that were done to the property. And therefore, had we stuck to the analysis, essentially would have sold it under the market because essentially the value that it was providing was incorrect. The other thing that I had made a note here is that it influences buyers' expectations. So for example, this property that we had that was a multi-million-dollar property that we sold $100,000 under the market. When we think about a property like that, it's like, man, that sounds like a lot. Folks, it is a lot. But did I tell you that this property was strategically marketed for almost 9 months? This property had almost multiple people that were through the property, and the feedback wasn't that the property was off. It was a location issue. And so that's something that I didn't take into account. So just so you know, as people look and evaluate properties, sometimes those numbers can be a little bit tweaked. They can be a little bit off because it doesn't help us understand maybe the value, the quality and conditions of a property, and it may not help you understand that specific location and what the value is, as well as how emotional or how you would respond to that. Because that's why you essentially need somebody in place to help you evaluate those things, not only for your own purposes and making sure that you're being very safe about making your offer. You need to think about this next option. What's the resale? How am I going to sell this property? Do I need to make improvements? Do I need to make the entrance easier? Do I need to make it so that it's something that's going to be something that I'm going to be able to sell in the future? And what do I need to do in order to improve that? Okay. So, and the final thing that I wanted you to consider is that there's a reason why real estate agents and real estate professionals, I should say, that treat this as a craft will always trump AI tools or these types of tools. One, I will tell you the story about very quickly, 10 seconds. Gentleman called me. I know the market. I'm in this industry. I totally get it. I have a job that you research this, analysis of this, that, and the other. I know all these things. Great. I essentially asked him 3 different questions about the market, how he got values, how he determined it, and how he would do it. And I'll tell you folks, he muddled through it and he had no clue. He had access to the tools, but he didn't understand. It's almost like when you use ChatGPT, you can put something in there, but only the input you get in or the input you're going to get out, right? Sometimes you've heard the thing garbage in, garbage out. That's the same scenario we ran into with these folks. He was looking at all this information, but it wasn't helping him determine the right value, determining a value, but not the right value that would help him in a market of today's market with today's interest rates, with buyers in that market, in that vicinity of what he should probably pay. And folks, I'll just be honest with you. This guy was going to way overpay for our listing. But it's because he didn't even know any better, but he had access to all the tools and he didn't have an agent. Had he had an agent, the agent would have said, these are great tools. This is is good, this is good, this is off, this is right, this is wrong, this is right. And they would have been able to summarize the data to help them understand that information. Folks, I'm going to just tell you, it's an amazing tool. It gives you options. It also shouldn't be ignored because it gives different perspectives, which I think is very important. It will help you understand maybe some dynamics of the market, some understanding of some details about properties, but you need to take into account what is happening from the real estate side of somebody that's doing volume, that understands the market, as far as activity levels, because is there opportunity to negotiate, ask for benefits? Is there strategic things that you can do in regards to assist you in getting more time or benefits because you're moving from out of state or something? Just know there's all of these kind of other dynamics in buying a property, but the tools will help you, but the person in place really needs to help you evaluate and be proactive in understanding the local market so they can help you get what you want in the time you want and making sure that you make the most strategic and also really just educated decision on the market. Folks, if you've been looking at options, you've been looking at buying, selling, or investing in real estate, and you need some help, just reach out. We're going to make sure that we get you the information you're looking for because statistics and data is very helpful, but we want to make sure we do an implementation of such to make sure that it makes sense, not only short term, but long term. Folks, best of luck. We're here to serve you. Take care.